and anything that you say will be part of the record. Those who are projecting their videos, please do switch off your videos for us to commence properly. You can close your videos if you don't want to be part of this presentation. Otherwise, your face will be also part of the public faces, same as mine. All right, so let us commence. Previously, we did an introduction on facilitation, and we did explain part of the ways on how one can be able to maneuver and navigate our learning channel or learning portal. I believe most of you now have subscribed onto the portal and you are receiving notifications. If you are not receiving notifications, please send us a message or a WhatsApp on 078-359-6200 for further assistance. Otherwise, we expect every student, whatever communication that we send out, please, you need to make sure that you follow the instruction. This is an online program, and we believe that everybody needs to be supported. We are unable to see you physically, so the only way to get in touch is to connect remotely via our platform so that we can be able to engage with you, support you up until you complete your learning program. Should you have queries or questions regarding the course on how to complete specific activities and how to submit, please do ask, send in those queries under the Q&A icon. Q&A icon, send in the questions so that we can be able to answer them at the end of the learning process or period. We are here for the next 40 minutes. Our classes are designed for 40 minutes only. And we know I'm not going to take most of your time. It is a Monday night, and I believe most of you might have been working so hard, and then to reserve this time, it is a blessing. We thank you for joining this class. Thank you so much. Before I waste most your time, let us dig into the class so that we can get to understand the program, how it's going to unfold, and what is expected of you. Remember, this is Facilitator program. We are dealing with Facilitator. If you are registered for Assessor Moderator program, you are still welcome, but this is always our first program. There's no way you can be able to assess without knowing the facilitation methodologies and the techniques of facilitation. There's no way you can moderate without understanding the learner's aspect, and that is where a facilitator is able to handle and how to manage a classroom, how to manage assessment, how to manage learning materials, and any resources and preparations for a learner to be assessed. So tonight, we're going to unpack some of the key components of facilitation and how to become a competent facilitator. I know some of you might already be practitioners and doing some trainings here and there, but you need to be competent as a qualified facilitator. And let me give you also some of the benefits of why does one need to become a registered facilitator. You know by now, you should be familiar with the quality councils. We call them the quality councils of education and training. We only have 3 quality councils. And all these quality councils, they require individuals who are going to embark onto training and development to be able to facilitate or to be registered as constituent facilitators, assessors, and moderators. We understand the process is also phasing out onto registrations with the SETAs, and you can see there is an integration, a new integrations of registrations with the Quality Council for Trades and Occupations. So we believe at the end of these sessions or at the end of this training, once you are declared competent and receive your certificate and statement of results, the next phase will be for you to register as a practitioner or as a registered facilitator with the Quality Council for Trades and Occupations. That you can do on your own, or you can still approach us and then we take you through the registration process, but of course at a minimum affordable cost that we give as an incentive to all our students. Okay, why is one actually required to be trained as a qualified facilitator? Someone can be a teacher, an educator. You might have done maybe a bachelor's degree in education, or you might have masters in education. But remember, programs differ one after the other. You might be qualified as, let's say, a plumber, and you are good into plumbing and all that. But the ways on how you practice as a plumber, and also the ways of transferring skills from yourself to another individuals are not the same. So you need to get the techniques on how do you impart knowledge to another individual, right? Through training and development. So the skills transfer is what this program is focusing on. We call it the facilitation, or train the trainer. So we train you because we believe you're a trainer. So we train you to be able to facilitate learning. And our facilitation is broken down into three components: facilitation as a part, and then the facilitation using a variety of given methodologies. So you facilitate, and then you use different techniques and methods on how to deliver that facilitation, as well as program design and development, because we believe part of facilitation, everybody who's facilitating must be able to embark on and support learners in terms of the formative assessment. Formative assessment is the normal activities that are given to the learners during the learning process. Your homework, your group activities, your assignments, projects, all those stuff that you give out to a student or to a learner while interacting with them is what we call formative assessment. Okay, done during the learning process. And this prepares a learner through the progression of this assessment. It prepares a learner for the exit examination or the summative assessment. So the exit examination normally is called the summative assessment, as we shall look into the aspect of assessment when we are tackling assessor course. You will see that it's all driven from facilitation. Once the facilitation is done promptly, there is no always issues with regards to assessment. Means learners are prepared and they are ready to be assessed. Whereas facilitation, we take it as the key fundamental to build a learner's confidence and support them before they can actually be assessed. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly pause for a water break, and then in the next 2 minutes, when we return after this water break, we are going to go into the entire program, looking at the first module. Check out the material of this course as well. You can download it from our learning channel or learning portal. Under resources, there is a learner guide. You can download it through, or you can also download the entire presentation. You can also request one from us, then we can be able to send it through if you are unable to find it. Get also our device if you are failing to integrate through or go navigate through the system. We can be able to support you through our WhatsApp platform. So do communicate to us. Do not sit. We have got a lot of students who normally complain and say, I didn't know how to get along, where to get 1, 2, 3, but they are not talking. They are just keeping quiet, right? We want you to be able to communicate, engage with us, and then we can be able to drive you through the process promptly, and then you exit this program. So I'll pause for a 1 minute water break, and then when we return, we are going to embark onto the module 1 session of facilitation. All right, welcome back to the second session of our learning program, Facilitator learning program. This is a uni-standard based program aligned to 11771 NCF level 5, and it carries 10 credits. So it's a combination, or it is part of the combination of series of uni-standards that are part of the OD qualification, that is the occupationally directed education and training development practices. If you want to register or to be part of our OD course, please do send in a WhatsApp onto our WhatsApp number 07835962000. It's an awesome program. You'll be exempted, or you have some exemptions if you are taking up a combo. So there's no need for you to repeat things that you have done or that you have enrolled for. At the same time, if you are having some experience in education and training, as well as experience in delivering course programs or content as a facilitator before, or as a trainer, or as an educator, and you've been registered, let's say, with the Council for Educators, South African Council for Educators, you're a registered educator, you can also receive credits, from our RPL system. So please, if you want to be part of that program, contact us, send us a WhatsApp, just say you are interested into the course, and we shall send you the entire program, and then you can take part of that. The enrollment has been extended up until the 31st of July for you to be able to be included into the second batch of this academic year. Okay, so facilitation. Antonio, you're welcome. Mashoba, you are welcome. Maine, you are welcome. Maxon, you are welcome. Welcome any other individuals who's here and those who are joining us onto our YouTube live. Please, you are welcome onto this evening session. And those who are joining us onto the Teams, thank you so much for joining. You are welcome. I'm going to try to unpack this program. This is for your own. Please get a pen or a paper somewhere, write down some little bit of notes. I believe you can also download this video at the end of the session from our YouTube channel. You will go and visit the YouTube channel. Probably it will be popping up tomorrow. Then you can be able to download that video and watch the video for this session. Facilitation is a very interesting program. We, as a training provider, we just want to see that you are a competent facilitator. You will be able to present a program without any difficulties. But there are specific techniques and methods that you need to acquire for you to be able to deliver a program promptly. Some of the things that we're going to guide you through here is a guide. We are not teaching, we are not facilitating so much of the content. We believe you can make research, because it's an online program. You can make research to dig deeper, to understand. I appreciate and I give out, I applaud all those individuals who have started to do the assessments and assignments, more especially the simple assessments on activity 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you so much. Thumbs up. I really acknowledge that effort that you've put in. Those who have not submitted, please, it's still time. Take your time to go through one step at a time. You don't need to rush or to be under pressure. We still have time, okay? So that we can be able to understand what you are submitting. I also want to encourage those who are submitting online. If you are submitting through our electronic version system, please do not cut and paste. Okay, the system automatically has been designed to check plagiarism. All right, so when you cut information and you paste it into the answer mode or the space for answers, it will be taken in, but you won't get the marks. Right, you'll see comments to which will indicate that this has been plagiarized and there's no resource. If you have got information as a resource somewhere else, you need to recognize and acknowledge the sources where you've got the information. That is simple, please. do so. We understand as facilitators, we do research. You go out there to make research and find information here and there. You might not be the guru of everything, but you can also pick resource from anywhere. But if you pick resource from somewhere, try to acknowledge those individuals who sat down sleepless nights, right, to develop that content and make it available for you. So recognize and acknowledge those individuals. That's all what we ask. So don't just cut and paste. If you have cut and paste, show us where I've got information from. Give acknowledge the source. If it's a book, put the book, the author of the book, the page where you've got the information from and all that. That's an acknowledgement. You get your marks given onto you. We know you have put in an effort, but if you're just gonna get to the internet and cut and paste, some of you who are using platforms that generate automatic answers also, we do acknowledge that, but we will not mark it. All right, it will be nice answers, but you won't get marks. We want you to answer as per your own understanding. There's a principle, we call it the VAS principle. The validity of the information that you're going to give, the authenticity is coming from you, the consistency and currencies from you, and the systematic flow of information is all what we are looking for, right? So we are using that principle to mark all the marks that you're going to be receiving, most especially when you upload information. Is we use the VAS principle to mark you or to assess you. Okay, we shall. I'll demonstrate that part when we come to the assessor program, because most of you are taking up the assessor course. You will be using that to conduct assessment. So the program of facilitation is literally based on two concepts, all right, two modules that we're going to focus more on. Number one, establishing communication in a learning environment. Number two, plan, prepare for facilitation. Plan and prepare for facilitation. That's what we focus more on. So tonight, we are going to unpack the concept of communicative function. If you're a facilitator, you must be able to interact with the learners so that they can be able to understand the content that you're trying to deliver onto them, so that they can be able to unpack as well as you have unpacked yourself, so that they can also be able to exit any assessment that might have been set for them to be declared competent against any information that you need them to pass, right? So we're gonna look at those concepts, all right, and then we move on to one after the other. So we're going to start on to one concept. The first concept under facilitation, we're going to look at the main key activities where the functionality of communication works most, right, or works best. First, there are three only activities as a facilitator that you need to engage yourself, you know, you need to be into the social activities. You need to engage yourself into social communication. You need to go into the managerial communication and management of learners and learning, right? So in management, you organize, you prepare, and then you manage learners, then you manage assessment, you manage resources, you manage venues, anything that incurs into your abilities to organize things. This is where you're going to use that resource. And then the last activity is to use science and technology to deliver your content. Okay, so those three things are very much important. And in most cases, a lot of facilitators, educators, do not take themselves so seriously when it comes to delivering. You cannot just set up a class without knowing the type of individuals you are going to facilitate to. Let me quickly put a allude onto this concept. Now, I wanna see myself, because if I don't see myself, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to an empty space. Are we all here? Please just give me a thumbs up if you are all listening and you are all here, so that we can be able to move forward. Please give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. You know, sometimes when we are on the online system and we are using these platforms and you are talking and nobody is talking, it's like we are talking, you're talking to yourself. All right. However, thank you so much. But I've got a hand up. I'm going to pause here for a hand before we can go dig deeper into the social context and the social role of individuals, facilitators. Please, your hand is up. If you have got any question, please raise. Okay, the hand is being put down. I can proceed. Because of time, I'm trying to rush through this part because we did discuss it already on Saturdays. If you are not here on Saturdays, the video is already up. All right, visit our YouTube channel, go get the video. If you cannot find it, send me a WhatsApp 078-359-6200. I'll send you that video. Okay, it's readily available. It's a Saturday video. All right, in the social context, all right, we say you as a facilitator, you take up the role of mobilizing, communicating, establishing a firm relationship between yourself and your students, the learners that are learning something or that are about to learn something from you. For you to do that, you must be able to promote that culture of communication. There's no way you're going to establish a relationship with students that you're about to talk to when you cannot even talk to them, when there's no, there is no system that has been put to allow you exchange information between yourself and those students. So this role in the social context allows you to be able to communicate firmly, create a better working relationship between yourself, and also affirming yourself as the absolute supporter, right? Now, listen, we put this into a converted, we call it what? Exclamation marks, we exclamate this part. You are a support to the learners, right? You are not dictating, you are not commanding, you are not forcing or enforcing something. You are supporting the learners to exit. You already exited, you're a qualified facilitator, you've done your part. But now, if you want to see them through, all right, you need to support them. So we as facilitators, we give ourselves to the learners so that they can learn stuff from us through application, through communication, and through providing that extra support. So providing support gives a learner an opportunity to be approaching, to be able to approach you for specific information. You get what I'm saying? So in terms of organizing a group, working on a group, facilitating to a group, it means you need to be social. You need to be able to open and speak to the group that you intend to facilitate to. This is always common. A facilitator must be able to communicate. It's just like a person who works in the market. All right, if you're going to sell some goods in the market and you're unable to call out whatever you are selling so that people can be able to see what you're selling, definitely you will go home with your goods the same way you came. So if you want to dish out this information, you must be able to speak, right? Not speak too much talkative person, right? But, sensibly and giving out information to the group, all right? Or to the audience. So, and then the other concept under the social communicative function or an activity as a social facilitator, you need to be able to maintain your group. Maintaining and managing a group is very key. If in case you are doing a facilitation, and this is a contact facilitation, you go to a community and then you're going to facilitate to a group, but these people, you have no idea, you've never met them. It's going to be very difficult to put yourself into them and be able to facilitate. We always learn the concept of open dialogue and communication as a key so that individuals can gain trust that you are indeed a facilitator and you are wishing all well for them to succeed and excel into whatever program that they are learning on. So helping students and maintaining them is all part of the social activity that a facilitator needs to be able to do. And this is done all mutually. It's not like you are there standing, the olden days where a facilitator acts as a teacher. A teacher is where learning is centered onto the teacher. So the teacher knows everything, learners know nothing. So learners have no access to resource materials, learners have no access to internet, have no access to extra resource or books or whatever information that they need so that they can be able to learn promptly. So that is an old system of learning and facilitation. We don't teach nowadays, we facilitate. And if you act as a facilitator, it means you are part of the learning process. You are part of the learners. You are with them, right? You are with them. So they are able to interact with you. They're able to dialogue, to ask you questions. That's the part of the social context. Now, you're going to find a lot of questions, all right, that are aligned to this very topic of social activity. Please remember, answer as per your own understanding. Social is the same way as working with others, coordinating closely with others, being an open individual and be able to liaise with everybody, right? So that you can reach out and support every individual in your group or in your class that you are facilitating to. Okay. Then moving on to explain furthermore the other concept of the activity that makes you a facilitator. The other one is what we call the managerial role. A facilitator, you need to take up this managerial role. Now, let me quickly say, all right, why is this one very important? I'm going to quickly unpack this one so that you can get it clearly. Let us put a scenario, okay? A scenario in this sense that you have been given an offer to facilitate to a group, and then the training provider tells you that tomorrow there is a class, but they have just given you an offer today. They said tomorrow there is a class, please, we shall be expecting you to come. Will you be able, in the real sense, be able to manage such a group? I mean, any person, please, any answer, or anybody can come in. Any comment? Will you be able to manage a group that has been just given to you immediately without you knowing that type of group that you're going to facilitate to? Of course, you won't, because I know some of you, because of money, because a facilitator works with money and things that comes in that if I have got some money in my pocket, I don't care what learner's going to learn today. I just need to facilitate to them. So what happens that people just take up any offer. In facilitation, we don't just pick up offers. Sometimes when you do so, it means you are not only limiting learning to the students, but also the assessment process is going to be very difficult. So what happens as a manager, we say we take up the role. The same way when you saw right now that this class was organized from Saturday, all right? We were in class on Saturday, announcement was made, so preparation were put into place on Sunday. Was it on Sunday? Did you have a class on Sunday? There's a class on when? Saturday night. A Saturday night class. All right. It was postponed to tonight. So communication has been happening. And then on your platforms, you receive also notifications that, oh, the class is happening right now tonight. Please come and attend. That all preparation. And when you come to the class, you can see there is an organization. There's a group of other students that have joined in. We've got the portal right there. The resource materials is available. The presentation slide is up. It's all planning. It didn't happen just in J immediately. Now we just all wake up and then we have a class, or you ended up maybe by error. You found yourself here. Maybe you saw a mail and you found yourself here. No, that message that even if you found yourself in this class without knowing, but the processes behind this class were so many that it was pre-planned for us to be here, pre-organized, right? So that's what we call the managerial role. You need to take up the management role, be a manager of that very class, plan for that class, prepare the class, organize the class, then facilitate to that class. That's all about it. The role of acting as a manager, we say a facilitator takes up the managerial role simply because they take up the procedural planning of every single activity that will happen during the learning process. Be it the learning material that you're going to give out to the students, be it the attendance register that you're going to give out for signatures to confirm attendance, be it timetables and schedules of dates that you have proposed, specific days on when classes are going to take place. That's all planning that has taken place, and it's only you, a facilitator, must do so. Now, one of the activities that we're going to give you, and this is very key, we always give you an activity to say, design, plan, and prepare for learning. So one of the key documents that is required from you is you're supposed to design a lesson plan. We call it a facilitation plan. And that document, by designing it, we know the outcome of that facilitation, how it will end. By looking at the document of a plan that you've planned, we can know whether it's going to be a successful facilitation or it's not going to be a successful facilitation. So we look at the lesson plan that you have prepared. If there's no elements of organizing, planning, and preparation, automatically you fail. You know, we know that this facilitation is not going to be successful. It's going to be a failed facilitation. So you need to go read deeper, more about this topic in your learner guides. You'll find more information. There's also a resource guide onto our channel. You will find that the information is available. Go read deeper and familiarize yourself with the information. Get to know what it's all about, the managerial role as a facilitator. You need to be a manager of your class, literally. Be a manager of your group that you're going to facilitate to. So when you're a manager, it means you have pre-planned for everything. Before a meeting happens, you have planned what's going to happen in that meeting. Before any test is given out, you have planned which type of test are you going to give out. Before any activity is given, you have known which type of people, the target group, is going to be part of that group, that learning, that you will know the language policy will kick in to determine at which level are you going to pitch your questions, you know, for formative assessment. If it is a research project or assignment, you will know how are you going to structure those assessments or formative or assignments. How are you going to plan them, put them together for better understanding of your students. So this is all about acting as a manager, right? And the managerial role is the key that leads to a successful delivery of a program. If there's no planning, if there's no resource being put into a program, definitely there is no facilitation that can ever take place. So we encourage you to be able to act as a manager as when you are facilitating. Don't just show up in a class when you don't know the lessons that you're going to teach about, you don't know the topics, you don't know, you have not made any record of the type of people that you are going to facilitate to. I'm going to give you one scenario. All right, this is a scenario, guys. This is a discussion now. It's off records. I don't know if I should put, but it's off record, right? It is our interaction between myself and you. I've got when I was doing facilitation as a program, the master's class program, we did a presentation, and the presentation we did request individual students to go out there and research and then come and present, right? You say, go out and research whatever topic that you're going to present to us, then come and present it to us. It was a simple test, right? So the team members went out with all whatever they're supposed to do. And then 2 days later, they came back with the research. Everybody had a research topic. And then they started to present to a group. You get what I'm saying? Everybody presented nicely, nice English, nice talking. All the thing was so sweet. But everybody, every single individual failed one thing, that they are facilitating to a wrong target. You get it? The target was wrong. You have made the research, but the research is irrelevant. It doesn't carry any weight to the people that you are facilitating to. So we were the project. They were supposed to make project on us. You get what I'm saying? We are the project. We're supposed to be the case study. So they were supposed to go and take us as a project and design research, whatever research that they are designing, based onto the group that they are being given, which was us. So every single individual went out there to do whatever they are doing, but they forgot one thing is what we call a target group. Have you ever not known that even during leadership development and leadership, most of us we're going to be doing leaderships and training individuals, but we forget one thing, that the target group always carries weight, because if the target group is wrong, even learning won't be, relevant. Resource won't add value. Transfer of skill won't matter at all, because the target group is wrong. People that you are facilitating to are not the right people. They are not interested. In fact, it doesn't appeal to them. A lot of training providers forget, a lot of facilitators forget that we facilitators are managers. And since we are managers of classes and lessons and course materials that we are going to facilitate to, we are bound to give advice to the training provider on the type of registrants or entries, that type of individuals, the quality of learners that must be enrolled onto a program. If you have qualified as an electrician and you are going to teach electrical engineering out there, maybe at NQF level 2, and then you go to an industry, you're going to teach individuals, they have selected a group of people, right? And those people have not been vetted to fit into the program. You'll be teaching to individuals who are absent-minded. They are there, but literally they are not available. They are not taking anything. So that's why we have seen a lot of failed trainings in learnerships. A lot of learnerships have failed learnerships, whereby individuals that have been selected to be part of programs, they are not the right target group. Why? The facilitators who are facilitating this program, they have not taken up the managerial role to advise the training provider, to advise the stakeholders that the right target group is not this one. The right target group is somewhere else. Maybe they need to go out, dismantle everything, and get new individuals that are going to adhere to the principles of that program and be able to understand and add value in the industry. Because remember, the reason why we facilitate is that we want to encourage, bring more people into the industry that you are in. If you are an electrician, the reason why you go out to train people, it means you want to get more people into your industry as an electrician. If you are into mining and you are training mining operations or underground hardcore mining, or you are into any mining activity, it means if you go out there to facilitate, you want more people to enter your industry. So you want to attract the right people who will stay in your industry and add value in the industry that you are in, so that the progression of the entity which you work for or that you represent will also grow. Are we together? Please give me a thumbs up if we are together. Are we catching something? Give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Now, I need those ones. You can also give me the balloons and give me those stars if you are getting something. But that's how we work, right? That's how it does happen. We need to know how can we manage our classes as facilitators. Now, the last part of this is the technical aspect, okay? The technical aspect is key. And I want to encourage, please, if you're a facilitator, please make sure you get knowledge, seek knowledge on how to use ICT, how to get into ICT and integrate your facilitation with ICT concepts. Please, facilitator, you need to know, because remember, now we are no more in the analog environment. We are digital. Everything is digital. So if you are going to be a facilitator, you need to plan. Planning is part of you designing some plans, right? There are so many templates out there that have been designed. Instead of you sitting down to scratch and crack your head to look for how you put up a plan, there are certain specific templates that you can adopt. The only way to do so is to go onto the internet, research for a template that's going to work and fit into your own teaching mode and your facilitation methodology, and then edit it and adjust it to suit your target group. Please make research. Facilitators are always not making research in terms of, you do not want to research or to integrate ICT into your facilitation. Do so. Familiarize yourself with computer applications, so that if you are going to draw up attendance registers, next time when you show up in a class, you and every one of your learners, they are into a good learning mode. Instead of you saying, please sign the register here, you're going to find another method, another way of approaching them to sign electronically, right? So who knows how to sign using electronic signature? Oh, we don't know how to do electronic. It seems irrelevant to the class or the group that you're going, or the topic that you're going to teach about, but it builds momentum. It's an icebreaker. It breaks all that fears of one learning, or engaging into learning. So it means you can be able to quickly integrate those people, just by bringing in a new concept to say, okay, today we're going to just learn on how to sign. Who knows how to sign? Some of them, they don't know how to sign. They don't have even signatures. So, okay, who's got a smartphone? Download this app. We're going to try to sign now. We are signing. All right? It's integration. You are breaking ice, but you are using another information resource elsewhere, and you're bringing it into your own environment, so it can be inclusive education. Everybody is included, even those who are resistant to learning, because we do have them. Those with impaired learning, learning difficulties, there are certain barriers in communication. They don't know how to express themselves. They have got low self-esteem. We find those individuals. But when you bring in a new concept, everybody will jump into it, right? And they will want to learn. You get what I'm saying? So get familiarize yourself with ICT. Get all that resources, right? Try to research. Please, if you need an integration model on how to use ITC in your facilitation, approach us. We shall guide you. These are extra services that we give to all our trainees, so that you can be familiar. We want competent individuals. We also have what is called the absorption model, where we absorb most of our facilitators that we facilitate to. We absorb them so that they can understand our concept of facilitation. Then we can be able to dispatch you to some of our trainings and see how these things work. If you need such integration, please also reach out to us. We can be able to take you into such a mentorship program, and then we can be able to align you to ICT and get the right resource. You can see here, it says all the technical role, concerns, responsibilities for ensuring participants are comfortable, ease, and also the use of network systems. You need to know how to use computer. You need to know how to connect a projector. You need to know how to connect all those cables, anything, networking, you need to know, right? There's certain times that you're going to have to use that resource. And then if you cannot connect, it means you're going to waste time. You're going to be, spending a lot of time trying to connect things that you can do better. So try to learn onto using ICT. Technology is key. Now we are moving digital. Everything is moving towards that era, right? So I want to encourage most of you. That's why this program is online, but you can see it's as if we are together, as if we are in the same class, as if you are here. I can touch you, I can feel you, right? Yeah, it's IT, right? If we didn't know how to integrate all this learning program wouldn't be possible. You can also adopt from us. Some of you already, you are facilitators, and you find yourself that traveling, you are busy driving a car, 200 kilometers to go and facilitate to 5 people. But 5 people, they can be connected remotely and learn. And then you that time that you spend driving, going to a customer or a training center, you can use it to grow something else. Guys, let us think out loud, right? As facilitators, we can cut down on specific, unnecessary activities that we engage ourselves in, because sometimes if you're facilitating, you need to account the time that you spend. We work like lawyers. I don't know whether if you have noticed, facilitators, we work like attorneys. That the amount of time, the number of hours is what we are being paid for. They pay you per hour. Even if you're working for yourself, it doesn't matter, because remember, even if you're working for yourself, you need to pay yourself. That's how business works. You must separate yourself from the business that you are owning. You must also be working for that very business for it to grow. Even if you are the manager, you must be an employee of that business so that you can see the benefit. So if it means you are paying your workers or your employees in facilitation the same way you are doing so, you also need to pay yourself. The number of hours that you're going to spend driving, coordinating, you can actually coordinate all these things remotely by sitting at the back of your computer, relax at your home, and then facilitate a learning program easily and still make substantial amount of money for yourself. Are we together? Are we learning something tonight? Thank you so much. We're going to pause for a water break. When we come back, we are going to unpack the last part of this session, and then we shall be able to go into the activities. Thank you so much, and let us enjoy that water break. Thank you. Okay, we are back into our last part of our facilitation program, and I'm so happy to have you here tonight. All right, I'm going to go into the last part of our facilitation, and then this last part is literally talking more onto the integration model. All right, so as we have seen that the main key activities for you as a facilitator that you need to put into consideration when you're facilitating, there are three. I'm going to repeat them. One is the managerial, right? Another one is the social, and then the other last one is the technical part. Okay. Now, when you do the concept of facilitation, there's what we call integration of facilitation and learning. You integrate facilitation and learning together. We call it the integration model. This one is not something that most people are normally adhering to as facilitators, but I'm going to unpack this for you because it's going to help you when you are doing your facilitation presentation. Okay, when one of the key activities that you are going to be doing is one of on your portfolio is what we call a presentation. It means you're going to facilitate to a group, right? Under that facilitation presentation, one of the key components that we are looking for is how do you integrate facilitation and learning at the same time. Now, this involves areas of agreements and disagreements. Have you ever been in an environment, you have organized your class, you have prepared, you've done everything, but one thing that you are forgetting is to be able to integrate You are not there to pass time, but you are there to impart knowledge on individuals, at the same time learn from the individuals. Because the more you meet people, the more you get the knowledge and skills on how to handle them, right? Just the same way, if you are in a household and you've got people within your household, if you are seeing them for the first time, you won't know exactly how to handle specific key information or transfer information onto them, because you don't have trust built with them. But the more you stay with them, the more you are with them, the more you socialize with them, you are able now to open up and be able to transfer information amongst yourself. There will be a dialogue, there will be communication, which is two-way. It's not only one-sided communication. Now, a lot of teaching, now when I talk about teaching, is only one-sided flow of information, whereby the teacher knows information. In facilitation, we facilitate. So in other words, communication is two-way. Hence, you've been seeing, I pause, I ask questions, we interact, I bring in one of a joke, I bring in another example. Is all to build up a momentum of individuals' trust, right? That individuals, you can trust me and be able to open up questions, and then you're able to understand. Once we do that, you are opening up. But there are specific areas that we need to put into consideration, is where learning, facilitation meets the learner. Facilitation as a process. Remember, facilitation is a process of transferring knowledge and information to a group of individuals. But are they ready to receive that information? That's another part. You might be good in transferring that information. You might be articulating and vocal and speaking out loud, but is the group receiving? Are they receiving and reciprocating the same what you are giving? That's one part that we call the integration model. You must be able to open up dialogue of communicative function very well. One of the next session, we're going to look at the communicative function as a key component in our facilitation integration, whereby there will be areas of agreements and disagreements. Of course, you are not going to be acting like you know all it all, right? We don't know. Sometimes you might sit in a class and then you find that you feel like you know so much, but you are forgetting you are also in the learning process. You know, facilitators, we constantly learn, because information is not static. Information is moving, is transformative, is transforming from one point to another. So we need also to be adhering to receiving new resource of information, receiving new evidence, receiving new communications from the audience that we are talking to. It's not like it's going to be one way. A facilitator must be able to have a listening here. You need to listen to the audience and then be able to interpret whatever they are asking as well, and put it into the context of the program, not your context, but the context of the program. Sometimes you might not be right. You know that. Sometimes you are not right. You might be static on one component, whereas the boat has already moved. You are behind, you know, you are behind. I remember when I was teaching, I was facilitating a group in one of the communities, and I was talking to a group of learners. They were female learners, and the thing that I was speaking about, they were like, previously they have changed. There's a new model, right? We're talking about sanitation, because I was facilitating sanitation in young women, young girls, on how, you know, to maintain proper hygiene and sanitation and all that kind of stuff. And then we are teaching, we are facilitating onto the disposable pads, you know, for ladies and all that. And things that I was talking, I never knew there was a new upgrade of already new standardized pads, and some were different types of all those things, you know. I was talking on what I know, only to find out, no, sir, there's this one also. There's a tampon as well. There is this, eh? So things were different. I never knew some of those things. I never saw. But they said, so what you are talking about, we are no more padding those things. We use these ones. You get what I'm saying? So it is information. You might think that you know as a facilitator, but the group that you're facilitating to, they are also versatile. They are also aware of changes. They are also aware of information. They are tapped into the same resource as you are. All right. They are already exposed, to certain things. Sometimes they might keep quiet and you talk. You spill out everything, right? And then when they get back, I say, Mara, this man, yeah, we didn't understand this guy. Whatever he's talking about is old things, we have moved. So we end up embarrassing us. We don't need to embarrass ourselves. So, number one, there are areas where we are going to agree with students. And where we are unable to agree, we call the dispute model and management of conflict within facilitation. Where there are disputes or disagreements, they do not agree with specific key information. We need also have ways and methods on how to handle the disagreement part of it. Number one, ways on how to eliminate disagreements and integrate learning. One is to bring in the consensusness. Consensusness is when you are inclusive. You let them speak, all right? You agree whatever they are saying. Go and interpret the text that they have given unto you and be able to analyze it and align it to the program. Because remember, everything lines to the program, not us. The program is what we are delivering. Number two, prompting discussions. If there are areas of integration where you're gonna score most, is where you are engaging your facilitation sessions into discussions, because it's going to open up individuals' ability to expose themselves, to explore more, and also to gain confidence in terms of talking and communicating in a group. So prompting discussion is another way on how we integrate learning. Whenever you open up classes for discussion, more especially in the contact session, people will be able to throw in different ideas. Some of those ideas might be not correct ideas, but why? We are accommodative. You cannot never say a student, oh, that is wrong. No, it does. No, it does. No. Number one, we have to recognize and give credit because they have been able to open up and speak. Some others will sit and be passive learners. We have called passive students who will never say anything. They are just sitting in the right corner and they are just listening and they don't want to engage. But those that bring in a momentum of engagement, and then you dispute them. Number one, whenever you bring in a negative perception and a negative reverse, it is already affecting their abilities to come tomorrow again and be approaching you, right? So you are cutting away the first key activity and role as a facilitator, the social context. Remember that part when we started our program? The social context is where we are opening up, we are dialoguing, we are encouraging, we are creating a relationship. Communication works in that way. So the moment we start to become negative on their answers, what happens? They'll pull back. Then they won't even need to engage anymore. And that's going to affect learning, not only by to others, to the entire group, but also to specific ones who would have got the courage also to speak out. We're going to be tarnishing and putting them down. So discussion is one of the key on how to integrate learning. The other part is assessing. Assessment, in when you give out an assessment. Assessment allows individuals to participate. It could be a group assessment, that is group activity. It could be a role play. Most special role plays are so good. Most special when you are opening up a session, you've never met these people, you don't know, you've never sat into their social groups, you don't know them, they don't know you, you are meeting them for the first time. You cannot start by teaching and opening up notes and start to say you are teaching. That's why I also want to talk about one thing that we're going to talk about here is the aspect of facilitation without knowing the content. You know, when you facilitate without knowing the content, or you forgot about the content, you might not necessarily that you don't know, but you might have forgotten the content, literally, because we forget. Information does change, right? Information does change. Sometimes when you forget the content and you are immediately opening up this program's content, and you are going deeper into the subject matter, individuals are already not yet aligned to understanding you. So it is not going to be easy for them to capture that information. The audience will be just listening to you. It should be like a pastor. You know, when you're in church, the pastor knows the scriptures, and you, the audience, might not know any scripture. You've taken ages without opening the Bible. The pastor is opening the Bible every now and then. They are revising. So when they come, hence we keep quiet to listen to the word and meditate on it. So the same applies to you. They are going to be watching you, just listening on how you are speaking, how you are, integrating all these things. You are talking nice grammar, and then they won't be learning. There's no learning, because learning is a two-way traffic. Learning is not one way. Learning is a two-way. When you engage them, they'll be able to open up and learn something. When they are participating, they are learning. When they are discussing, they are learning. When they get involved into an activity, a group activity, you can do a role play activity. You can take them outside and do an activity which is encouraging everybody. That is all learning, all right? Because remember, why do we bring in individual activities or group activities or anything? One of the key components, we shall look into facilitation methodologies, that is under facilitation methodologies and techniques, is what we call the critical crossfield outcomes. I think we shall talk about it towards the end. The critical crossfield outcomes allows you to bring information from wherever it is into practice. Information, it is coming from anywhere, but it now becomes a living information that learners, individuals can actually see it is working for them. It's appealing, it is describing, it is demonstrating all what they've been desiring to know. It is working for them. It becomes living. It becomes a functional information. It becomes practical. It is something that they can now apply in their day-to-day lives, right? So we shall bring in that critical cost, and there are only 8 principles of critical cost outcome, where there is organizing, analyzing, communicating, all those. We shall discuss them when we're talking about the critical crossfield outcomes under the facilitation methodologies and techniques. Is one of the last modules that we're going to be talking about, I think during this week, definitely. And then you will be able to unpack that part. It's very interesting, that part. I want to also encourage, please, do not miss out my classes. If I set up a class, please be part of that class. Do not miss out, right? Okay. So, and then the last aspect is the model of the questioning ability, assessment, ways on how do we assess. Questioning comes into assessment. The way we pose questions, posing questions will allow individuals to engage or to disengage, to leave, to sit back. When you ask questions, the certain questions that you ask, either they are closed questions, definitely nobody will answer. If they are open questions, open-ended questions, means individuals will be able to jump in and ask and answer those questions, right? So please do yourself a favor, read more about these techniques, read more about these methodologies and the model of integration. Questioning and diagonizing, dealing with misconceptions and summarizing discussion is part of things that we do as facilitators to integrate learners into learning. Remember, you have a program. You know the program. You've mastered it. You are a master. You have got the skills in it. But the group that you are talking to might not know. They only know a bit of it. They want to learn. They have that agency to learn. But the process of delivering that, there must also be willingness to receive, right? You give and receive. They must receive. You are giving. Whatever you are giving, they must be in that very right space to receive that information. So if there is no technique and method of meeting them to receive that information, it's going to be teaching individuals, facilitating to them, And then at the time of assessment, nobody can articulate, nobody can answer those questions, nobody can give you the right answers or can be able to participate in the assessment process. So I want you guys go back and research. Right, this session is not only to open up our eyes, but also to encourage us to research more onto DC, because these are the things that you're going to find on a day-to-day. The integration model, I said, is very much important, and I believe most of you who are facilitating already, you are utilizing it, but unknowingly, not knowing that actually it aids. It's the one that brings more progressive results compared to just opening up notes. And I want to encourage you facilitators, those of you who are just going and opening up a book. Let me take out one book. Those of you go and open up books and start to read notes as if you are reading newspapers. Today we are we are looking at one. Then you start to talk to yourself. Please, you're gonna have to stop it, right? Facilitators, we don't do that. We do not open up books. Do not open up books, please. A facilitator, you do not take out. That's why we have what is called a facilitation guide. You only go with a guide. A guide is a guideline that will allow you to facilitate a program. A guideline will have a lesson plan. A guideline will have set of activities that you are going to be doing. A guideline will have all the recommendations of things that must happen during that learning process, that learning period, right? Do not open up books, because the same books that you're opening up, you might have the learner guide that you are reading, and the students have the same learner guide. So you are not facilitating, you are just reading news. Teach, facilitate, transfer the knowledge that you got, but based on the program content to the learners, and integrate that they will understand it even without opening up books. Because when you start to open up books, we're going to go into cramming, where learners are cramming and getting to just tap into information to pass exams. These are the people, when you facilitate and they finish up the program, they are unable to apply the skill that they have learned in the day-to-day environments. The markets will not accept them. They go to perform duties, they're unable to perform duties. Why? Because they were not facilitated to. They never learned. There was no facilitation that took place. Yes, the facilitator was in class, you are present, but learning never took place. So I want to encourage you, adopt to these models. Let us get into it and read more, research more. Then when we meet again, we are going to unpack more of our programs. I believe I've dispatched some of the content that I was sent to facilitate tonight, and I believe you have caught one or two things. Go and read more about it. Download the learner guide, download the content from the channel, from our platform, and engage. If you have any questions, please do so and ask those questions through our WhatsApp. Most of you have got my WhatsApp number now. As your facilitator, my WhatsApp number is 078. I'm going to quickly put it onto here, 359-6200. Right? Send me those WhatsApp messages, and then let us engage and support you so that you can be able to exit this learning program. At this moment, most of you are now eligible to complete activity 2, 3, 4. Activity 2, 3, and 4. You are eligible now to complete those activities, right? And also, you can be able to start attempting some of the activities in the POE. There is a POE. If you download it, you'll see some of the questions that are there. You can be able now to attempt some of those questions. At this moment, I'm going to pause for only 5 minutes. If there are no questions, I'm going to close this session, and then we meet again in our next session. It will be advertised onto your portal, and then you will see communications. Tomorrow, same time, we are meeting. Otherwise, I thank you for joining this session tonight, and I believe you have learned something, and I wish that you will be able to adopt into this information and use it to your own benefit and complete the program successfully. Thank you. I'll pause for 5 minutes as you are setting in your question. You can type your question, or your floor is open now for questions and answers. Only 5 minutes. We only have 5 minutes and we close. Please, questions? Any questions? If you are all good and all happy, please just give me a thumbs up. Then we shall close. We call it a day. You know? Thank you. I think they see the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we're gonna close here now. I've just seen the thumbs up. All good. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you, and God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.